Welcome to Brown Girls Can, the podcast. I'm your host, Shateria, visionary, dreamer, and your personal empowerment plug. This is Brown Girl Boss Up Audio, a quick hit of legacy wisdom to level up our mindset. Today, I'm reading straight from a Napoleon Hill transcript because the gems he dropped, Black women, we need to hear them. So take a breath, take this in, and let's boss up together. You've been taught to work hard, but no one taught you to think richly. You've been taught to save pennies while men of power create millions with a single idea. I'm here to awaken you, for there's a way to command money, to attract it in such boundless amounts that poverty becomes impossible. Not through chance, not through inheritance, but through the mind that is trained to think in gold. Stay with me and I'll give you the exact steps that built the fortunes of Carnegie, Ford, and Edison, and can now build yours. Let me ask you plainly, have you decided to be rich, or are you still entertaining the illusion that riches belong to other people? Are you waiting for your ship to come in while refusing to build the ship? Are you hoping for money while speaking words of poverty and walking in fear? You say you want more money, but desire without decision is the seed of poverty. Most men don't lack opportunity, they lack will. They don't suffer from fate, they suffer from indefinite thought. They drift, they wish, they hesitate. They speak of dreams but act on doubt, and so life gives them exactly what they have commanded: fear, limitation, and lack. You were not created to fear every bill and spend every coin. You were born rich in thought, rich in spirit, rich in possibility, and today, if you will hear me, if you will stay with me, sis, to the end, I will teach you how to awaken riches so vast, so continuous, so overflowing, you won't be able to spend it all in a single lifetime. This is no idle promise. This isn't wishful thinking. It's not fantasy. It's not hope. It is law. I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to instruct you. There's a method by which riches are attracted to the mind, and to the mind that is trained to think in gold, to believe in abundance, to speak with definite, and to act without fear. These words you're about to hear are not mine alone. They are the distilled conclusion of 25 years of labor, born of Mr. Hill's association with Andrew Carnegie, who charged him to interview and study the 500 most successful men of the age. Men who rose from nothing to control industries. Men who possessed no formal education, no wealth, no social position, and yet shaped the course of history through the power of organized thought. Among them was Henry Ford, who began as a farm boy with a dream and reshaped transportation. Thomas Edison, who failed 10,000 times before birthing the electric light. Charles Schwab, who rose from laborer to command a steel empire. Rockefeller Morgan, Hill Gillette, all of them different in station, but united in one trait. They trained their minds to attract riches, and they demanded wealth from life with such faith, and that faith could not deny them. Let me warn you, this is not a speech for casual ears. This is not a tale told to pass time. What follows is a spiritual blueprint for commanding riches. You must listen and not listen lightly. You must not drift while you listen, for if you miss a single part, you may miss the very step that was meant to unlock your fortune. The principles I will give you are exact. They're eternal. They are the same laws that lifted these men from obscurity to greatness. So sis, if you stay with me, if you will submit yourself to the instructions, if you will apply what you hear with faith and decision, you will build an empire and a fortune so expansive, so enduring that the world itself will bend to your purpose. So I say again, stay until the final word. Don't be like the woman who dug for gold and quit 3 feet from the goal. Don't be like the multitude who say, I already know this, yet they live as beggars in a world of wealth. Remain, listen, absorb, command. For this may be the very hour your life changes. And if it is, if you grasp the truth I will unfold, you will rise from your present state and begin to attract more. More money than you ever thought possible. So much that spending becomes secondary, so much that giving becomes joy, so much that you no longer chase riches. You become a magnet for them. Repeat these words before we begin. I was not born to be poor. I was born to be rich. I don't wait for money. I command it. My thoughts are definite. My aim is clear. My fortune is on its way now. Let's go, sis. If you think riches are for other women, I tell you plainly, you have already rejected the treasure that's meant to be yours. If you believe wealth is for those born under a lucky star or blessed by some divine exception or gifted with mysterious talents beyond your reach, then I gotta be direct with you. You have already forfeited your inheritance. For the first step toward wealth is not labor. It's not education. It's not luck. It's not connection, nor time. The first step toward riches without exception is the belief that you can possess them. Until that belief is planted deep in your spirit, no action will bear fruit, no plan will gain traction, and no effort will be sufficient to overcome poverty. But once you believe, like truly believe that wealth is not only available to you, but meant for you, then the floodgates of possibility begin to move. First within, and then without. Every woman who has ever been wealthy began by first believing she could be. Before there was gold in her pocket, there was gold in her thoughts. Before there were houses and lands and factories and fortunes, there was one thing, a definite belief that she would possess them. Let's talk about Henry Ford. Henry Ford had not $1 when he begun his pursuit. He had no formal education. He had no family inheritance. What he had was a vision and a faith. A faith in that vision that grew hotter each day until it consumed his very doubts. John D. Rockefeller, before he was a name, walked to his first job interview in worn clothes and with trembling hands. But in his mind, he already saw himself at the helm of a great enterprise. Charles Schwab, as a youth, he carried steel messages and swept floors, but in his mind, he saw skyscrapers and empires. See, they all believed before they earned. And because they believed, they earned more than most men can count. We must tear from our mind the lie that poverty is noble, permanent, or beyond our control. Poverty is a temporary condition, born of indefinite thinking, sustained by fear, and cured only by the decision to think accurately, believe fully, and act with purpose. I have seen men lift themselves from starvation to abundance in a matter of years, not because the economy changed, nor because someone handed them money, but because they began to think definitely. The riches were always within them, but the riches were waiting for orders. And it's the same with you. There is more gold within your mind than in all the minds of the earth. It lies dormant until you give it orders. You are the only commander your subconscious will obey. And yet most men speak no orders at all. They let their thoughts wander like dogs off a leash, chasing every doubt, every fear, every worry that enters the gates of the world. They complain of lack while thinking in lack. They fear bills and create more. They speak of what they can't afford and thus ensure that their wealth never arrives. They declare war on their own riches by repeating slogans of the poor, like, I can't afford that, or that's too expensive. Money doesn't grow on trees. And then they wonder why money does not grow in their life. What you say is a command. What you think is a blueprint. And what you believe becomes real. This is not philosophy. This is fact. Look at your present condition. You work hard, but the harder you work, the farther ahead the goal seems to move. You save pennies, but somehow the dollars vanish. You lie awake at night, not from abundance, but from anxiety. You wonder how you'll pay the next bill. You fear that wealth may never come. You look at other women who live in abundance and think they're made of something different. Girl, what you lack is not money. What you lack is a command over your own mind. You're letting the most powerful instrument ever created run wild without direction. Your subconscious obeys only definite orders, and you have not issued any. If you desire riches, you must stop thinking like a woman who accepts poverty. You must declare war on vagueness. You gotta stop thinking and talking like a woman who is merely trying to get by. Don't say, I want more money. That's not definite. That's not purpose. That is not a command. Say this instead. Ooh, this is good. I demand of life $1 million, and I will earn it by rendering a specific service. You name the amount, you name the method. Write it, speak it, feel it, see it in your mind so vividly that your very bones respond to it. This is how riches are birthed. You may say, but Shateria, I don't have any skills. I have no capital. I don't have anything. And to you, I say, begin where you are. You may say, I don't have any connections. Then you speak so clearly and think so powerfully that connection is drawn to you. Desire, when definite, backed by belief, reinforced by repetition, and carried into action, will tear down every obstacle you now face. But if you drift, if you delay, if you speak aimlessly and act timidly, you will remain a beggar in a world of gold. I've spoken with women who've lost everything. Business gone, friends gone, relationships gone, reputation ruined. But within months, some of them rebuilt faster, stronger, wealthier. Why? Because they still believed they could. They still saw the vision. They still acted with precision. The world respects the woman who knows what she wants, and it ignores the woman who does not right now. There are riches in motion. More money than you can fathom is changing hands every hour. But only those who think with absolutes and speak with belief will attract it. The rest will watch from a distance, wondering why wealth passes them. Now I say to you, you are the richest woman alive if you choose to be. You must repeat it not once, but daily until the words dissolve your doubt, until your subconscious accepts them, until your every action flows from the identity of a woman who was born to be rich. Say it now. I was born to be rich. I will demand riches from my life. My thoughts attract gold. My words command gold. My actions draw gold. I am a rich woman in thought, in purpose, in spirit, and soon in possession. There's no virtue in poverty. There's no strength in lack. There's only misdirection. Thoughts turn inward, backwards, and downward. You were meant to rise, to build, to create, to overflow with so much wealth that it blesses others. That is the key. Money is a tool you must master, not fear. It's a servant to the trained mind. It's an ally to the definite woman. It's an enemy only to the weak, the wavering, and the wandering. Let your past be poor if it must, but let your thoughts be rich from this moment forward. And if you continue with me, if you give yourself fully to the teachings ahead, if you obey the laws I will now lay before you, the day will soon come when you open your bank ledger and find yourself overwhelmed, not by debt, but by surplus, not by fear, but by power, not by questions, but by purpose. And when that day comes, remember this moment, the moment you first declared, I will be rich, and meant it. Now, let's continue, sis. Riches never come by accident. They don't fall from the sky, nor do they arrive by luck. Riches are the result of desire, not a wish, not a fleeting hope, not a feeling, but a consuming, persistent, burning desire. A desire that refuses to accept anything less than wealth. A wish says, I hope to be rich. Desire says, I shall be rich and nothing will stop me. That's the difference. That's the difference between the poor and the powerful. The beginning of all riches is desire. Pure, hot, unrelenting desire. Every great fortune you admire began first in the heart of someone who would not let go of the picture they saw in their mind. That picture, repeated with feeling and belief, called forth the money to match it. Weak desires bring weak results. Vague hope brings vague return. Only desire backed by belief, repeated until it becomes faith, and then carried out with definite action, can compel wealth to obey you. Desire must not live in your mouth alone. It must saturate your thoughts. It must dictate your speech. It must drive your deeds. Desire must become the dominating influence of your waking hours and a companion to your dreams. The woman who drifts says, I'd like some more money. But the woman of purpose says, I will possess a fortune, and here is the exact amount that I claim. One is hoping, the other is commanding. And the world bows only to the woman who commands. We got to learn how to command. Consider the story of Edwin C. Barnes. He didn't begin with money. He didn't even begin with introduction or favor. He began with a desire, a burning desire to become the business partner of Thomas Edison. He had no way of knowing how it would happen, but his desire was so definite, so persistent that he acted upon it. He boarded a freight train, crossed miles with no ticket, and arrived at Edison's office. He wasn't invited, and he was unannounced. But he was also unwavering. When Edison saw him, he later said he looked like an ordinary man. But there was something in his eyes that told him he wouldn't leave without getting what he came for. That something was desire. It was stronger than appearance and louder than credentials. Barnes didn't get his partnership immediately, but he accepted a menial job, and for years he kept his eyes on the one thing he came for. Then came the day. Edison launched a new invention that the salesman didn't believe in, but Barnes did. He seized the opportunity. He sold the invention with such belief that it swept the nation. And so Barnes, the unknown man with no money and no title, became the trusted partner of Thomas Edison. He became rich, not by chance, but by desire. That story lives because it proves the law. Burning desire backed by definites of purpose, carried out by action, will create its own opportunities. The world moves aside for the woman who knows where she's going. Now ask yourself, have you truly decided what you want? Or are you still hoping vaguely for improvement? Are you chasing 5 goals? Or have you chosen one aim and made it the master thought of your life? Let me give you the 6 exact steps that, when followed, will turn desire into riches. Now, I didn't create these steps. I discovered them in the lives of every wealthy man I studied. They are not theory. They are law. All right, grab your pen and your pencil, sis, because here they come. Number 1, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Not, I want more money, a definite sum. The subconscious does not respond to vagueness. Number 2, determine exactly what you will give in return. There's no such thing as something for nothing. What service, what product, what value will you render? 3, establish a definite date by which you intend to possess the money. A goal without a date is a dream, and dreams unmatched fade. 4, create a definite plan and begin at once, whether you feel ready or not. The woman who waits for perfect readiness never begins. Begin now. 5, write out a clear statement of your goal and include the amount, the service, the date, and your plan. Write it in full. 6, read your written statement aloud twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Read it with faith. Read it with emotion. Read it until your subconscious accepts it as fact. If you will do these 6 steps daily, riches will begin to move toward you in ways you cannot predict. The method is not instant, but it is inevitable when followed with discipline. Let me say this directly. If you have not written down your definite sum, you're not serious. You may say you want wealth, but if your desire has not yet reached your pen, it's not yet ready to command your life. Words spoken pass quickly, but words written hold the mind. Writing your desire with clarity and conviction is the first outward sign that you've begun to shape your inward faith. If you can't decide what you want, how can the resources respond? The woman who is unclear in thought is invisible to opportunity, but the woman who writes her purpose in ink writes it first into her future. You must become so obsessed that you feel the weight of the gold in your hands before the world even gives you a single coin. Your imagination must furnish the evidence before the bank does. Desire must live in your imagination like fire in the furnace, consuming, directing, heating every thought with purpose. If you don't see the money inwardly, you will never receive it outwardly. Say this out loud. My desire is definite. My goal is clear. I will have it. Repeat it again. Not softly, not questioningly. Say it as a commander. My desire is definite. My goal is clear. I will have it. Each morning, read your statement. See yourself already in possession of the money. Feel what it feels like. Speak as if the wealth is already yours. At night, read it again so that your last thoughts before you go to sleep are thoughts of riches. This is not fantasy. This is instruction. The subconscious does not sleep. It listens in the dark. And when it hears the same message night and morning, it begins to accept it as law, and it'll deliver the circumstances to match it. Don't skip this. Don't neglect this. Listen, you may work 10 hours a day, but if you don't take 10 minutes to speak your riches into being, you are sabotaging your wealth before it even begins. Riches are not accidents. They are commanded. They are built first in the mind and then made real by the hand. The world is filled with women who work hard, but only the women who desire definitely grow rich. You let others chase opportunities without direction. Let others complain of bad luck. You must burn with desire and move with precision. That's the way forward. That's the road to riches. Say this: money is coming to me now in increasing quantities. My mind is magnetized to wealth. I act with purpose. I speak with command. I walk in riches. And guess what, sis? You are not too late. You are not too old. Nor are you behind. And the moment you decide with definite, the world around you moves to meet you. Desire is the invitation. Belief is the key. Action is the door. And yes, you must begin now. Let's keep going. Faith is the spiritual chemistry by which thought is converted into riches. You cannot touch it, yet it molds every coin you touch. You cannot weigh it, yet it tips the scales of fortune. Without it, desire remains a dream, and with it, desire becomes substance. You don't wait for faith to arrive. You build it. It's not found, it's formed. Faith is not the reward of circumstance. It's the cause of it. You create it through the repetition of belief until your subconscious accepts your words as reality. Faith does not come to the lazy mind. It's the prize of the disciplined thinker. It's forged in silence and repeated aloud until the very marrow of your bones believes what your lips declare. See, when you speak your definite goal and aim every day out loud, morning and night, with emotion and belief, you are building faith. You are saturating your subconscious with truth until doubt no longer finds a place to hide. It's impossible to become rich without faith. The woman who doubts herself shall remain poor, even in a land of gold. The woman who believes, even in a land of hardship, will find the way. Faith must come before the money, not after. This is the great era of the drifting masses. They say, when I see the riches, I'll believe. But life says, believe first, and then you shall see. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It begins with a word spoken aloud, a picture in the mind, and a feeling in the heart that refuses to let go. If your faith is weak, it's because your repetition has been weak. If your belief is shallow, your confession has been shallow. If your results are poor, your self-talk has been poor. You are the prophet of your own destiny, and the words you speak today create the future you will walk in tomorrow. Speak as a queen, and riches will obey. Speak as a beggar, and poverty will remain. Now let me tell you about a man named Charles M. Schwab. He was not born into riches, but he carried in his mind an idea so powerful and in his voice such belief that it built an empire. He came to Andrew Carnegie with nothing but conviction. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't beg for opportunity. He spoke with such faith that Carnegie entrusted him with the formation of United States Steel. That decision created a $600 million empire and made Schwab one of the wealthiest men of his generation. What gave him this power? Faith in himself, faith in his idea, faith in his ability to carry it through. He had no assurance except the voice inside him, but he obeyed it, he repeated it, and that inner certainty became outer reality. That's the power of belief before evidence. The world doesn't respond to need. It responds to belief. You don't get what you want. You get what you're certain of. You don't receive by wishing. You receive by declaring. I've said it before and I will say it again. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is not a mere slogan. It's the foundation of every fortune ever made. If you cannot yet see the money in your hand, then see it in your mind. If you don't yet possess it, speak as if you already do. Walk, speak, and act as though the fortune is yours. When you do this consistently, you're programming your subconscious to obey, and your subconscious will create the conditions to fulfill what you believe. Doubt is poison. Doubt whispers, maybe it won't work. Doubt says, who am I to be rich? Doubt claims to protect you, but it steals from you every hour you entertain it. If you hold doubt in your heart, it will choke your dream at the root. The woman who doubts today will be begging tomorrow. She'll delay her riches for years while waiting for permission. But faith never asks for permission. Faith moves forward while others retreat. Faith speaks truth in the face of empty pockets. Faith declares wealth while the world calls it madness, while the world says you're delusional. If you lack faith, begin today to create it. Speak your definite goal out loud. Say it with feeling. Say it with certainty. Say it when you feel it and when you don't. Say it until your voice no longer shakes. Say it until the words no longer sound strange. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as law. Then your mind will go to work creating the results. Listen, sis, this is not a mystery. This is mechanics. This is how the great men of wealth, whom Napoleon Hill studied over 25 years, how they created their fortunes. They saw the fortunes first in the mind. They believed in it while others doubted. They declared while others feared. They acted while others hesitated. And so the world yielded its riches to their command. When you build faith, you remove hesitation. When faith is strong, decisions are quick. Actions are bold, plans are executed with power, and riches that were once distant, they begin to move swiftly toward you. Faith is the bridge between desire and money. Without it, desire just remains a fantasy. But with it, desire becomes destiny. Say this out loud. I believe I'm rich. I believe riches are coming to me now. See, faith is the bridge between desire and money. Speak it with force. Say it again and again and again. And for every time you speak these words, you're building new grooves in your mind. And these grooves become roads for riches to travel in your mind. Faith does not come by sitting still. It comes by speaking out loud your purpose, by acting boldly, and by repeating truth until truth becomes flesh. You may not feel rich today, but that does not matter. What matters most is what you believe and what you repeat. Your present condition is not your permanent reality. No man can stop the one who believes. No circumstance can withstand the one who declares. No amount of lack can survive the one who's filled with faith. Remember, your mind is the master. Your subconscious is the servant. And the faith is the language that gives orders. So use it well, use it daily, and sis, use it now. Let your definite goal and aim be your anthem. Let it be the song you sing with joy, the phrase you carry in your pocket, the sentence you whisper as you walk. Say this, say, my fortune is mine. I believe it. I speak it. I receive it. What I believe, I shall see. From this moment forward, let there be no more doubt. Let your mind be a temple of belief and belief only. Let your heart be a furnace of faith. Let your words carry the tone of a woman who already possesses wealth. You've asked, well, when will I be rich? The answer is simple. When your faith becomes greater than your fear, that's the turning point. That's the day the money begins to move. Now, go back to your written statement. Speak it again. Read it loud. Read it with emotion. Stand and declare it. Close your eyes and see the fortune. Open your mouth and believe it into being. This is the way. This is the path. This is the power that builds empires. Faith is your servant. So speak and it will obey you. You still here? Let's keep going. There is a silent partner within you. He works without sleep, without complaint, without delay. He never speaks, yet he executes your deepest instruction with absolute obedience. This silent partner is your subconscious mind, and it's the most powerful tool you possess in the creation of wealth. Your subconscious mind is always, always, always working. It is not idle for one moment, and it doesn't argue. It doesn't question your judgment. It accepts your dominant thoughts as law, and it proceeds to turn them into results whether you intend to or not. You're not a creature of fate. You are the product of what you have allowed to dwell in your mind. Your life is not the result of chance. It's the result of the orders you have silently issued to your subconscious through repeated thought. If you have spoken often of poverty, you've planted poverty. If you have feared lack, you've fertilized it with your attention. If you have talked constantly of your bills, you've instructed your subconscious to deliver more of those same bills. The subconscious doesn't judge, it doesn't filter. It accepts whatever you repeat often enough, and it brings those ideas into form. What you hold in mind, backed by emotion, must appear in kind. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." He understood this truth. He believed the Model T would fill the streets long before anyone else dared believe it. That belief was planted, nurtured, and repeated until the world simply matched it. Ford did not consult the opinions of other men before he built his fortune. He consulted the image in his own mind. He believed in that image so completely that his subconscious accepted it and moved mountains to bring it forth. The subconscious mind is like a fertile field. Whatever you plant, it will grow. If you plant thorns, it grows thorns. If you plant gold, it grows gold. But it cannot tell the difference between treasure and trash. That decision is yours alone. Most women plant the seeds of lack. They speak of what they can't do. They fear what might happen. They repeat phrases of limitation. And then they're surprised when poverty blossoms in their lives. You can't whisper fear into your subconscious and expect it to give you faith. You can't speak of failure and expect success. You can't rehearse scarcity and expect abundance to arrive. What you plant is what you grow. The law is exact. The results are always faithful to the seed. If you want wealth, then you must plant wealth daily, deliberately, and emotionally. This is where autosuggestion becomes your tool of transformation. You must speak aloud your definite goal and aim, and you must read it twice a day. Feel it in your heart. Impress it with emotion. See, emotion is the water, repetition is the sun, belief is the soil. Together, they awaken the subconscious. Together, they create results. If one is missing, the growth is weak. If all are present, the harvest is abundant. The subconscious doesn't sleep. Even while your body rests, your mind is still receiving instructions. If your last words at night are words of purpose and belief, your subconscious will work through the night to fulfill them. You must never speak casually of your life. Words are seeds. Speak only that which you desire. Speak only riches. Speak only health. Speak only strength and purpose. Let no idle phrase enter your mouth. When you say, I can't afford that, you are planting limitation. When you say things are getting worse, you're commanding decay. When you say, I never win, you're closing the door to success. Guard your mouth. Guard your thoughts. Guard your heart. You are shaping your future with each sentence. If you wish to become wealthy, then every word must carry the tone of prosperity. It has to carry the tone of strength. So let your mind be a sanctuary of belief, and let no fear linger there. Let no doubt be repeated. The moment a negative thought enters, dismiss it and replace it with one of power. Say out loud, that's not my thought. I think in riches, I think in purpose, I think in gold. And say it with force. Say it often. Say it until your subconscious accepts no other voice but your own. Every rich man that Napoleon Hill studied used his subconscious as a silent partner. Carnegie, Rockefeller, Edison, Schwab, they all understood this truth. The mind that is trained commands the world. They impressed success into their minds so deeply that it became inevitable. And once their subconscious accepted it, opportunity, ideas, and people arrived without effort. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's law. Your subconscious is a builder. You give it the blueprint. It handles the labor. But the blueprint must be complete. It must be written with care and repeated with emotion. That is why you must write down your goal. That's why you must speak it out loud. That's why you must read it every morning and every night. Not because it pleases your ears, but because it programs your inner builder. Your subconscious holds your fears, your beliefs, your habits. You can't afford to let it operate by default. You must train it. You must give it new orders. You must fill it with wealth, or it will continue to repeat your old limitations. You may say, but I've been poor for so long. That does not matter. The past is gone. The only question is, what are you planting now? Say this out loud. My subconscious mind is a magnet for wealth, and I impress riches into my subconscious. Night and morning, repeat those words. Write them, speak them daily. Each time you do, you're pushing out fear. You're rewriting your inner code. You're awakening the part of you that already knows how to create riches. You must not skip this step. You must not say, I understand it, but fail to do it. The woman who listens and applies shall grow rich. The woman who listens and forgets shall stay poor. Let me be clear. The world around you will mirror the world within you. Your circumstances are but the reflection of your internal orders. If you want to change the outer, you must command the inner. Plant wealth in your subconscious. Speak prosperity with conviction. Declare riches until they feel natural and walk each day as if the results are already on their way. You're not hoping for change, you're creating it, sis. You're not begging for wealth, you're building it. Your subconscious, once trained, will bring you what you demand. Say, every thought I plant grows into riches. I speak with purpose, I believe with strength, I act with faith. This is the process. This is the method. This is the secret. This is what men of wealth have known, and that now you possess. Let's keep going. With belief in the mind, purpose in the voice, and wealth in the subconscious, desire is the seed, faith is the soil, autosuggestion is the water, but without action, without organized planning, the seed of riches will never rise from the earth. A woman may believe and yet perish in poverty if she never moves her belief into motion. It's a common error to suppose that strong feelings alone bring success. Feelings unaccompanied by action are like a fire without wood. They burn bright, then vanish. Desire alone is not enough. Faith alone is not enough. The woman who would command great riches must translate her inner desire into definite plans, and those plans into definite action. You can't attract riches vaguely. Money is a lover of precision. It flees from those who hesitate. It avoids the woman who dreams but doesn't act. It's drawn to the one who thinks clearly, speaks directly, and moves swiftly. Andrew Carnegie did not become the wealthiest man of his day by faith alone. He believed, yes, but he also planned. He organized his empire by surrounding himself with men who specialized in every field. He didn't pretend to know everything. He didn't try to do everything. He formed a mastermind alliance, an organized group of minds working toward one definite aim, and he executed with speed. You have got to do the same. If you're alone, your plan will be limited by your vision. But when you bring other minds into harmony with yours, you multiply your power tenfold. Begin with this. Form a mastermind group, a sister circle, 2, 3, maybe 5, but let them be aligned in purpose, disciplined in thought, and faithful to the goal. Meet regularly, share openly, hold each other accountable. Next, write your plan. Not a vague intention, but a definite method by which you intend to earn the sum you desire. Will it be through business, investment, service, or product? Define the channel. Define the method. Don't say, I'll make money. Say, I will earn $100,000 through teaching, or I will earn $500,000 through real estate, or I will earn $1 million through a publishing enterprise. The plan must be specific. Then take immediate action on your plan. Not next week, not after you feel ready. Act now. The subconscious mind respects movement. Our world respects momentum. Life respects the woman who moves with purpose. Your first plan may be imperfect. That doesn't matter. Action refines what theory cannot. Begin and correct as you go. Start and allow movement to reveal what still must be shaped. Don't wait for the perfect plan. The woman who waits for perfection never begins. The woman who moves with decision gains feedback, growth, and strength with each step. Remember this: riches are offended by delay. They don't visit the woman who hesitates. They pass by the indecisive and reward the one who desires to act. Procrastination is the enemy of fortune. It kills more dreams than failure ever could. The moment you delay, the moment you say tomorrow, the spirit of riches begin to withdraw. The woman who says, "Let me think a little longer," will be still thinking 10 years from now. The woman who acts, she learns in motion, corrects as she proceeds, and builds a fortune as she goes. If your first plan fails, make another one. If that one fails, make another one. But never, ever, ever quit. Riches are not offended by failure. They are offended by giving up. Every great fortune has failure in its history, but no fortune was ever built by a woman who allowed failure to end the story. The rich woman makes failure her servant by responding with improved planning. When you act, you will meet resistance. Obstacles will arise, delays will occur, but that is not the signal to stop. That's the call to plan again, smarter, sharper, and with greater commitment. You must become as flexible in planning as you are fixed in purpose. See, the goal remains the same, but the method may change. Adaptability is the law of success. Now, let's talk about decisiveness. A woman who hesitates over money shall never hold much of it. She who cannot make decisions quickly will forever be the servant of those who can. Rich women make decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. Poor women make decisions slowly and change them frequently. Which one are you? You can't attract wealth while remaining indecisive. Your subconscious reads hesitation as uncertainty, and uncertainty cannot magnetize riches. It actually repels them. Don't consult everyone about your plan. The woman who needs permission from the crowd will always be ruled by the crowd. Seek counsel from the wise, not approval from the weak. When Carnegie trusted Schwab with control of U.S. Steel, it was because Schwab moved with certainty. He spoke plans, not theories. He offered action and not ambiguity. The world respects the woman who knows what she wants and is bold enough to take it. Your plan, however small it seems, gains power when carried with decision. Let me give you a formula. Desire plus faith plus plan plus action equals riches. Remove one and the formula fails. Combine all and wealth becomes certain. Now, don't just think about this. Do it. Form your mastermind, your sister circle. Write your plan today, decide on your course, and take one step before you sleep tonight. That one step may change your life. Say out loud, "I act on my plan with courage and speed." Money obeys the woman with a definite plan. Repeat those words until they become your truth. Let them guide you in every movement. Let them remove all delay, all doubt, all drifting. Every morning, review your plan. Ask yourself, what can I do today to advance this plan? What step can I take now? Who must I speak with? What must I adjust? Don't allow a single day to pass without progress. Each day is a brick in the structure of your fortune. Stack them daily and the mansion of wealth will rise. Your plan is your contract with the unseen. It's the proof that your desire is real. It's the message you send to life that says, I'm serious, I'm committed, I will have what I claimed. When you act on your plan, even before the money arrives, you're speaking faith through movement. And that movement awakens unseen forces that begin to align in your favor. The great mistake is to wait. The great truth is to move. Let this be the day you shift from intention to action, from desire to execution, from dream to design. Say this out loud and believe it with power. I don't delay. I don't wait. I act with purpose. I execute my plan. Each action I take brings money closer to my hands. Now go and write your plan and then act on it before the day ends. Let the world know you are no longer a woman who waits, but a woman who moves. You still with me, sis? All right, let's go. Now, fear is a tool of the devil. It requires no chains, no prisons, and no weapons. Fear is the invisible assassin of greatness. It kills silently and leaves no wound. It paralyzes the mind, silences the voice, and keeps a woman poor, though she walks among gold, among all the enemies. To wealth, none is more cunning, more consistent, more destructive than fear. It's the unseen barrier between desire and achievement. There are 6 basic fears that Napoleon Hill identified through his study. 6 ghosts that walk silently beside every failure. But among them, 3 stand as the tyrants of the soul. The fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health. Each of these poisons a woman's mind, stops her hand, and reduces her potential to just dust. The fear of poverty is the greatest of all. It's the foundation of every excuse. It whispers, but what if I fail? It says, I better be safe. It suggests now is not the time. And so women delay, they postpone, and they retreat. The woman who fears poverty accepts scraps. She lowers her price. She stays silent when she should speak. She clings to her job in terror, though she dreams of freedom. Her thoughts are bound in chains, and so her life remains in bondage. The fear of criticism silences dreams before they're even spoken. It says, what will they think? It warns they may laugh, and so the idea dies unborn. The invention remains hidden. The ambition stays buried in the soul. The fear of ill health drains energy from the present. It imagines weakness. It rehearses decay. And it keeps a woman so focused on what might break that she never builds what could grow. But these fears are not born in you. They're planted by society, by failure, by education, by opinion. And they can be removed. They can be replaced, and they can be destroyed when met with faith and definite. Let me tell you the story of a man that Napoleon once knew. He had no money, no friends of influence. His credit was broken. His family had turned away, and yet he made a decision. He said, I'll burn the bridge behind me because I won't return to the life I've known. I will demand riches from life, and I will back that demand with action, belief, and persistence. I will have it or I will die in the pursuit. That man sold all he had to invest in himself. He had no guarantee. He had no applause, but he had faith. He repeated his purpose aloud every morning and night. He took action every single day. He refused to let fear dictate even just one step. Within 2 years, he had replaced debt with surplus, rejection with recognition, and worry with wealth. He became a millionaire, not because life gave him a chance, but because he destroyed faith with his definites. He had no special gift. He had no secret advantage. What he had was courage. The courage to confront fear and move forward anyway. Understand this truth. Fear dies in the presence of faith. Fear flees from purpose. Fear cannot live where daily action and belief reside. It only grows in the shadow of delay. Every time you act boldly, you shrink fear. Every time you speak your goal aloud, you silence the whisper of failure every time. When you take a step forward, you prove to fear that it has no power here. Fear grows in silence. It thrives in hesitation. It multiplies in vagueness. But when met with clarity, repetition, and decision, it dies as all illusions do, quietly and quickly. You must starve fear by feeding belief. You must speak affirmations daily, not when you feel strong, but especially when you feel weak. That's the moment fear is most vulnerable. Say out loud, I am not afraid of poverty. I was born to be rich. I reject fear. I walk in purpose and riches. Repeat these words. Write them down. Say them until they no longer feel like fiction. Say them until they feel like the foundation of who you are. Always remember, what you say with repetition becomes the truth your subconscious believes. Now, fear, it will try to return. It always does, but you are not the woman you once were. You are no longer drifting. You're no longer apologizing. You're moving with purpose, and purpose casts out fear. You must become a guardian of your mind. Stand at the gate of your thoughts. If fear knocks, don't open the door. Speak faith instead. Declare purpose, affirm wealth. Don't talk about problems. Talk about solutions. Don't dwell on what might go wrong. Focus on what you will make go right. Shift your speech and shift your spirit. When you feel fear, act anyway. When you feel small, speak power. When doubt comes, declare your goal again, but this time louder, stronger, and with deeper conviction. The devil cannot withstand a mind on fire. Fear is powerless against the woman who moves, who speaks, who acts with direction. You must make fear uncomfortable in your presence. You must become so definite, so decisive, so determined that fear finds no place to land around you. Let your life be too full of motion to give fear a seat at your table. Riches will not come to the woman who negotiates with fear. Riches come to the woman who commands wealth, who rejects fear, and who acts as though success is already written in her future. Say this out loud. Fear has no place in me. I was born to conquer, not to be a coward. I choose faith. I choose wealth. I choose action. Each time you say these words, you are building a fortress around your mind. You're replacing weakness with will. You're replacing fear with faith. Your life changes not when fear disappears, but when you act in spite of it. That's the moment of transformation. That's the moment riches begin to respond. Let the world tremble if it must, but you must be steady. Let the storm rage, but you must walk on. Let fear shout, but you must speak purpose even louder. Every rich woman I've interviewed had fear, but none of them obeyed it. They moved through it. They rejected its advice. They acted anyway, and so riches followed them. You must not wait for courage. You have to create it. Fear will fade. You must make it flee. And that only happens through motion, decision, and belief. Now write down your fears. List them. Then right next to each one, write the action you will take in spite of them. And then do it. That list is your battleground. Win it daily. Say again, I reject fear. I move with purpose. My mind is filled with strength. My life is filled with riches. Let this be your daily song. Let it be your hourly chant. Let it be the shield you raise and the sword you swing. Fear cannot survive when you live this way. You're no longer a woman who asks, what if I fail? You're now a woman who says, what if I win and never stop winning? Kill fear with the fire of decision. Destroy it with the hammer of action. Replace it with the armor of faith. And walk forward, rich in spirit, rich in mind, and soon, rich in hand. Wealth is not an event. It's not a surprise, nor a miracle. Wealth is a habit built one thought at a time, one word at a time, one disciplined day at a time. The woman who becomes rich has simply trained herself to think, speak, and act in riches so consistently that the resources have no choice but to obey. There is a law at work in all things. Napoleon Hill calls it cosmic habit force. It's the silent force that makes your repeated thoughts permanent habits. And once a habit is formed, it moves you automatically without strain, without thought, without delay. You don't need to think about tying your shoes. Why? Because habit has taken over. You no longer learn it each day. It's written and programmed into you. It's the same with poverty. It's the same with wealth. Your repeated thoughts become fixed patterns, a cosmic habit force. They're neither good nor evil. It simply obeys what you feed it. If you feed it confusion, you become a woman of indecision. If you feed it clarity, you become a woman of command. What you repeat becomes what you are. One inspired day is not going to make you rich. One emotional moment will not bring you millions. One strong week will not change your life. What changes a life is the daily practice of success thinking. Repeat it until wealth becomes second nature. The greatest men that have been studied did not wait for inspiration. They worked daily with persistence until habit carried them forward, even when desire weakened. That is mastery. That's how wealth endures. Thomas Edison didn't invent the electric light by one sudden flash of genius. He worked daily for years through failures and trials until the result emerged. His power was not in brilliance, but in habit. He created success by developing the habit of persistence, and he maintained it until all resistance yielded. He worked when others rested. He thought when others gave up, and his legacy is now history. So how does one develop the wealth habit? Begin with daily autosuggestion. Speak your definite goal and aim aloud every single morning and night. Let your voice ring with emotion. Let your mind believe what your mouth is declaring. And next, practice the morning reading of your purpose. Upon waking up, before speaking to anyone else, read your goal. See it in your mind. Affirm it with power. Start each day as a rich woman in thought, and life will match the identity. Track your progress with pen and paper. Written tracking creates conscious movement. Note what you achieved, where you fell short, and what action you will take next. The wealthy keep records. The poor forget what they promised themselves. Avoid idle conversation. Don't speak of failure, gossip, or complaint. Your words form your world. Speak only of action, plans, service, and gain. You can't afford the habit of poverty speech, not even for 1 second. Guard your mind from drifting thoughts. When you find yourself daydreaming without aim, redirect immediately. Bring your attention back to your goal and say out loud, I focus only on what builds my fortune and my future. Inconsistency is the thief of success. It whispers, take off today. It says, you've done enough this week. But the woman who starts with fire and quits with smoke will never hold gold. Do not confuse excitement with endurance. Many begin with great zeal only to disappear at the first delay. See, wealth honors the steady hand, the daily discipline, and the quiet persistence. Repetition is the master key. Speak your desire. Think your belief. Act on your plan daily. Not when you feel like it. Not when it's easy. Daily. Until it becomes automatic, effortless, and expected. Let every day contain your wealth routine. Speak, believe, plan, execute, review, adjust, repeat. Speak, believe, plan, execute, review, adjust, repeat. These are the tools of riches. Use them faithfully and money will come. You're not training for a single victory. You are building a life. Your habits will write the story of your wealth or your lack. Don't trust emotion. Trust discipline. Trust routine. Trust the process. Say out loud, wealth is my habit. I do the same rich actions every day. My thoughts, my words, and my habits attract endless riches. Repeat these words morning and night. Let them echo in your mind throughout the day. Let no doubt enter. Let no excuse linger. This is who you are now. Success is not reserved for the gifted. It's reserved for the consistent. The woman who acts daily with order and faith will outdistance the one who acts sporadically with inspiration every single time. If you break your routine, return at once. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until the first of the month. Success responds to speed. Ideas respond to speed. The moment you fall, rise. Return to your rhythm. Remember, you're not creating wealth. You're becoming a wealthy woman in mind, and the money will be drawn to match your new identity. And that identity is built through habit. So let each action, each word, each hour of focus become another stone in the structure of your wealth. Soon, the house will be too strong to fall. Soon, wealth will become inevitable. Now, establish your daily routine and ritual. Set a time, write it down, create reminders, post affirmations on your walls. Make your environment serve your success. Don't leave it to chance. Say again, I act like a wealthy woman. I speak like a wealthy woman. I think like a wealthy woman. Say it daily. Daily wealth is attracted to my rhythm, my thought, and my movement. This is your life now. This is the law you follow. This is the path that you walk. You still here, sis? Woo. All right, let's keep going. The day will come when you open your account and you won't believe the balance. You'll see numbers where once there were only hopes. You'll see overflow where once there was only struggle. And you are going to smile. Not because of luck, but because you now know why it came. The world will pour gold into your hands, and it won't surprise you because you've been speaking this into existence. You've been planning it, affirming it, acting upon it, so it had no choice. The result will feel natural. It will feel right because it's your birthright. There once was a woman who listened to this philosophy, not with interest, but with conviction. She wrote her desire, she spoke it aloud, she formed her mastermind, her sister circle. She acted on her plan, she failed once, then again, but never quit. She rose early and repeated her purpose. She guarded her speech. She surrounded herself with minds of purpose, and within a few years, she was no longer asking for opportunity. She was granting it to others. She became wealthy beyond her needs. Her wealth flowed like a river. But the greatest joy was not in the things she bought, but in the lives she touched, in the businesses she funded, in the families she lifted, in the legacy she left. She understood what I now tell you. True wealth is not only in money. It's in time. It's in freedom. It's in impact. It's in the knowledge that your life has moved the world forward and not backward. Riches are not evil when in the hands of the righteous. They're tools. They are fuel. They are levers that lift the burdens of others. The woman who walks in riches with purpose becomes a source of light. This is what you're being trained for. Not only to possess wealth, but to direct it, to command it, to guide it with wisdom, to multiply it, and to use it to fulfill your definite purpose on this earth. Let me remind you, this is not a dream. This is not fantasy. This is not mere motivation. This is law. These are principles, as exact as gravity, as certain as sunrise, as dependable as the ticking of time. Rockefeller was not born with fortune. He was born with discipline. He learned to keep a ledger, to master detail, to tithe, to multiply. His thoughts were definite. His plans were exact. His faith was unshakable. Ford was not born with wealth. He was born with vision. He saw a nation on wheels before anyone else dared to. He believed in mass production before the machines were built. Woo. He persisted when others laughed. When others called him delusional, he kept going. These men did not guess, they knew. They trained their minds to accept riches. They trained their minds to expect riches. They saw the results before the world caught up, and so the world gave them empires. Now it's your turn, not to be Ford, not to be Rockefeller, but to be the wealthy woman you were born to be. To claim the life that belongs to the woman who's definite in thought, fearless in speech, bold in action, you must think like the wealthy. Speak like the wealthy. Act like the wealthy. And then you become wealthy. First in mind, then in habit, then in hand. This is the natural progression. Don't ask if this is going to work for you. That question already reveals that you have doubt. The question is, will you work this system without hesitation, without delay, without compromise? The opportunity is here and the path is clear, and the instruction has been given. What remains is what always matters most: your decision. Will you act or will you delay? Here is what you must do today. Create your plan. Write the amount you demand of life. Choose your method. Determine your timeline. Write your statement in full. Begin the auto-suggestion tonight. Speak your desire aloud with belief. Feel the emotion. Picture the result. Don't miss a single day. Gather your allies tomorrow. Form your mastermind alliance. Share your purpose. Build your sister circle. Let no small mind enter. Choose only those who believe. Take action now. Any step, any move, any effort in the direction of your goal. Don't wait until you're ready. Begin, and then power will meet you in motion. Repeat this truth until it echoes in your bones. Woo. Desire, faith, decision, persistence, plan, action, thought, purpose. This is the formula. I'm going to say it again. Desire, faith, decision, persistence, plan, action, thought, purpose. This is the fire. This is the way. Speak it daily. Live it hourly. Let no man shake you from it. Say this out loud. I was born rich. I command wealth. I walk in riches. I give others an overflow. There is so much money coming into me, I will never be able to spend it all. I will use my abundance to bless others, to grow, to build, and to become. Let these be your final thoughts tonight. Let them be your first words tomorrow. Say them until your mind no longer doubts. Say them until what's in your hands matches your words. There's a level of wealth where giving becomes effortless, where tithing is not a duty, it's a joy, where building is not burden. It's your nature. That's where you're going. This wealth is not far. It's waiting for you to move. It's waiting for you to believe. It's waiting for you to become the woman who no longer hopes, but commands, and now you know how. Sis, we made it to the final step. Let's walk it together. Let this be the beginning of the life you were born to live. The life of a rich woman, not just in money, but in mind, impact, and destiny. You were not made to run from lack. You were made to lead in overflow. Now go and don't stop until you hold in your hands more than you ever imagined and give more than you ever thought possible. This is the way. I will see you at the bank, and I'll see you at the top.